How you action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here back with another TNINews video. Now today is Sunday, February 10th, which means we are less than 1 week away from the New York Toy Fair kicking off, which will be next Saturday, February 16th. Hopefully you've already marked your calendars. And we will be bringing you guys full coverage of the event starting on Saturday morning on the websites. Hopefully you've bookmarked all the websites, Marvelous News, Toy News International, JediInsider.com, and Tformers.com, because we will be kicking off coverage early Saturday morning. Saturday is probably going to be the biggest day for reveals. That's when we're going to see Hasbro. That's when we're going to see NECA, Mezco, Lego, Playmates Toys, and probably a couple of others. We'll have reveals on Sunday as well from places like Diamond Select Toys, and Monday even with like Mattel. The big thing on Monday will be Monday morning. We'll see what Mattel has on hand for Toy Fair. So definitely I am expecting some cool stuff, especially from like Hasbro. NECA will probably have some cool stuff to show off. I'm hoping maybe we'll get an update from NECA on those DC figures that they showed off a couple years ago. And then, you know, maybe some more Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff, you know, keeping my fingers crossed, and of course Predator and horror figures and things like that as well. So again, please do mark your calendars and be sure to check out the websites for complete coverage. I will do update videos here on YouTube, but that will be later in the day or even the next day from when the news actually breaks. Okay, now before we get into all the news that I want to talk about today, I also want to just give you guys a quick reminder. I'm going to try and talk fast because, again, got a lot of things I want to talk about, and I don't want this video to be super duper long, though it probably will be. But I want to remind you guys that I've got those contests going on over at the Marvelous News and Toy News International message boards. I've talked about this in previous news videos where you can win a chance to get a $100 store credit from either Big Bad Toy Store or Megalopolis Toys. All you got to do is register on those message boards and then actively participate. You know, if you find yourself spending a lot of time on Facebook or Instagram or what have you, then just do the same thing you were doing there, but do it on those message boards, and, you know, good chance you'll win some cool stuff. You know, these contests, they go for about 2 weeks. The one on Marvelous News, actually today is the last day for it, and we will announce the winner tomorrow, but then probably either tomorrow or the next day we'll launch a new contest for an additional 2 weeks. So even if you don't win this round, the Toy News International contest, the current one has another week to go, but even if you don't win this round, if you go over there and you're actively participating on a regular basis and, you know, talking about the things that I guess all of us are passionate about, if you're not into action figures, I don't know why you'd be watching this video. So, you know, talking with your fellow collectors, sharing your images, your photography, whatever, you know, you can do it all over there. So, you know, like I said, instead of doing it on Facebook or Twitter, which doesn't really get you anything, you know, do it on the message boards and you will get entered for a chance to win. Now, and it's 2 different chances because it's 2 different contests on each site. And I do have links to both of the contest details in the video description below. Now, while we're on the subject of contests, I've got another contest for you guys. I'm giving away stuff all the time, right? So if you follow the Marvelous News message boards, then you've probably saw some pictures of this. I got this box this week from Hasbro. Big thanks to them for sending this to me. And what it is it's a box full of Captain Marvel toys. It's a promotional box. You know, I've gotten these before for, you know, they usually send this out with all the Marvel movies, and I've given these away before, so you might be familiar with it. Coolest thing generally is actually, I mean, it's filled with toys. It's got most of the Captain Marvel Legend figures except for the bomber jacket one, the regular ones, not the store exclusives. And then it's got 3 12-inch Captain Marvel figures, and it's got a role play item. But really, you know, the coolest thing to me is always the boxes themselves. They are pretty unique. They only send these out to a select few people, like people in the media and stuff. It's a promotional box that they do. So the box itself is just kind of a rare thing. So, you know, if you want kind of a unique collectible, then I think this is kind of cool. I mean, you probably dig the toys inside as well, but really, and those will be included with this, but it's really kind of the box itself. So you can see like one side, it's got Brie Larson. The other side also has Brie Larson, but she's wearing the bomber jacket with her cat. And then you've got her cat on the side there. Cat's definitely featured a lot. I think it's going to play a large role in the movie. And then on this side, you've got this hashtag that says, I think it's upside down, paging Captain Marvel. So what you're going to have to do in order to try and win this is we'll do a drawing again. And I'm going to do the drawing. Today is February 10th, so between now and February 20th, let's get through Toy Fair coverage. So you'll have between now and February 20th. And what you got to do is you've got to be a subscriber to this channel, which hopefully you already are. You've got to like this video. And then you are either going to have a Twitter account or an Instagram account. And you can, if you've got both, you can do it on both your Instagram and your Twitter if you want. But you have to have at least one or the other, Twitter or Instagram. And if you're going to do this on Instagram, then you probably want to take like a picture, like a screen cap. You can take it like this, whatever, you know, just the box itself. But post up an image, and with the image on Instagram, you're going to want to tag it at Marvelous News. That's our Instagram handle for Marvelous News. And then also at Hasbro. And then put the hashtag paging Captain Marvel. So at Marvelous News, at Hasbro, hashtag paging Captain Marvel. If you're going to do it on Twitter, you don't have to include an image. You can if you want. But again, you just want to tweet at Marvelous News, at Hasbro, hashtag paging Captain Marvel. And then once you do that, come back here to this video in the comment section below. Just indicate that you've done it. Let me know what your Twitter or Instagram handle is. You know, let me know that you posted to either Twitter or Instagram, and let me know what your handle there is. Even if it's the same as your YouTube handle, just let me know so I can easily check it. And then you'll be entered into the drawing, and then we'll hold the drawing on the 21st, and then I will come back here and I will post in the comment section the winner's name, and they will have until the end of the week to email me and claim their prize. So, and I will pin that. I will pin the announcement of the winner, and which will probably be posted at the end of the 22nd. I would even say, you know, wait until the 23rd to check, just so you're not running back and forth, you know, checking throughout the day, because I don't know exactly what time of day I'll get it posted. But I will have it posted on the 22nd. So anytime after that, come back and check. It'll be pinned at the top, so it'll be like the first comment that you see with the winner's name. And if you're the winner, then you'll email me, claim your prize. You'll have until the end of that week, that Sunday. If you forget and you don't claim your prize by the end of the week, then I'll have to try and find another way to give this thing away. But don't forget, you know, mark your calendars or reminder or whatever to check and see if you won. And, you know, one lucky person will win this. And it's open to everybody. If you're under the age of 18, please do get your parents' permission. But I'll open it up to inside and outside the U.S., and I'll even cover the shipping charges if you're somebody outside the U.S. who wins. So good luck to everybody. Again, just kind of a cool prize, my way of saying thank you guys. And, you know, I'm closing in on 50,000 subscribers. This isn't my 50,000 subscriber giveaway. I will do something really special when I hit that benchmark, but this will hopefully help me get to that mark. Got less than 800 to go in that regard. So again, please subscribe to the channel if you're watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Okay, so now let's get into the news portion of this video, which is what probably y'all are actually watching this thing for. And believe it or not, you know, we've had quite a bit of news come out in the last 2 days since I did my last news video. So as I mentioned, we had the Wonder Festival this weekend overseas. So we had some reveals for some import stuff, which I'm going to share with you guys, highlights that struck out to me with some Marvel and some other things. Okay, now besides that, also Hasbro, they released some more Toy Fair preview images. So we talked about the Transformers stuff that they released earlier in the week, but now they were released. I was hoping we were going to get looks at the Marvel Legends or Star Wars Black Series, which is still, I'm sure, going to be coming in the next few days. So, you know, maybe even tomorrow, Monday, we might start seeing that. But on Friday, they released some teaser stuff for Power Rangers. So as you know, Hasbro took over the Power Rangers and is going to be doing Power Rangers toys starting this year. Now, earlier in the week, they had actually released some images of some role play stuff, but on Friday, they released images of some action figures and some Mechazoids and stuff. So first of all, they revealed images for two bigger items. So the first one, they're calling the Power Rangers Beast Morphers Beast X Ultra Zord. That's quite the mouthful. And that is going to cost $34.99. It's based on the new show that is also being basically handled by Hasbro. You know, they essentially not just got the license, but bought the whole thing from Saban. So they are basically the name behind, at least here in the United States, they are the name behind Power Rangers now. And so we're getting this Morphers Beast X Ultra Zord, which will be out later this year. And then for their Play School line, which is for the younger kids, even younger, is the Power Morphin Megazord playset. And that's going to cost $59.99. And again, that will be out later this year. Now, both of these items seem to be pretty much in keeping with what we saw from like Bandai America. However, I'm not an expert on Power Rangers. I've never been a fan of the show. I've never collected the toys. So again, I'm not a huge expert on these. But again, these kind of pretty much seem in keeping with what we saw from Bandai America. And then they also showed off, besides those two items, they also showed off some basic 6-inch action figures. So again, while they are going to be doing collector-oriented action figures, these are made more for the kids. These are going to cost $9.99 each. They are going to have less articulation than the collector versions and such. Even though, I got to be honest, based on these images, the articulation for this kind of figure actually doesn't look too bad. Oftentimes you're lucky if you get 5 points of articulation. So this looks like these might have a little bit more than that. So not too bad there. And we're getting the Power Rangers and stuff. And then we're getting two villain figures, the cyber villain Blaze and Tronic, which I'm not familiar with, but they're based on the new show and definitely look pretty unique there. Okay, now switching gears to the Marvel front, Hot Toys this week released official images for their Brie Larson-based Captain Marvel movie figure. They had teased this before, and I think it was pretty much a no-brainer that they'd be doing it. And overall, I'd say it looks pretty good. She doesn't look like she's very happy, though. The unmasked head sculpt looks like she's very unhappy, which is kind of in keeping with how the Marvel Legend version looks. So I don't know. Maybe she's just not happy in this movie, but definitely she looks pretty unhappy with that face sculpt. You do get a helmeted head with this figure as well, which will have lighted up LED lights in the eyes, which is kind of cool. And then there's a deluxe version, which is going to come with Goose the cat, that bomber jacket, and will also come with an extra pair of firing effects. If you're going to spend the money on this figure, I'd say spend the extra and get the deluxe figure so you get those extra accessories. And this figure is up for pre-order, so you can go to places like Big Bad Toy Store now and pre-order it. Okay, now moving on to our Wonder Festival convention coverage. So really not quite as much in the way of new reveals as I was expecting. On the Marvel front, there was really only one new reveal. We did get new looks at things like the Revoltech Bleeding Edge Iron Man figure, which we had previously seen. Now, these images come from various sources from social media, so I will put links to all of those different sources in the video description if you want to check them out. But again, we're getting a better look at things like the Revoltech Bleeding Edge Iron Man figure, also the Gambit figure, a little better look at that. And then we're also, on the MAFEX front, we're getting new looks at the Spider-Man figure with the unmasked Peter Parker head. This is a comic book based figure. And I've got to be honest, based on this new image, I don't think that unmasked head looks as good as it did in the promotional images. Something about the paint looks off. Maybe it's just the lighting, I don't know, but I just don't think it looks quite as good as it did with the promotional images. Now, we also got a new look at the Tiger Stripe Wolverine figure, which we had seen the promotional images of the other week. And for the first time, we're getting a look at the Jim Lee Cyclops figure. So this is the newly announced figure for this convention. And overall looks pretty good, though I got to be honest here, nothing really that stands it apart from the Marvel Legend version. Not sure I'm seeing anything, at least based on this one image, that would motivate me to pay like $80 as opposed to $20. Now, it's possible we could get additional accessories, and if we get things like maybe a bomber jacket, a removable bomber jacket, or an alternate head sculpt with the red ruby glasses, or basically laser effects that maybe you can attach to the eyes, or even maybe if the eyes light up, that would be really cool. So if we get stuff like that, that might, that would definitely increase the appeal of this figure to me. But as it stands, just again, based on this one image, I can't really say that there's enough here that would warrant me wanting to get this one over, say, the one I already have from Hasbro, the $20 Marvel Legend version. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Is this something that you're excited about? Will you get this figure even if it really doesn't have much in the way of additional accessories? Or are you just going to stick with the Marvel Legend version? Now, besides Marvel stuff, there were a couple other things I wanted to share with you guys. So from a company called 1000 Toys, which I'm not really familiar with, but they had on hand some Hellboy figures. These are 1/12 scale Hellboy figures. So the Hellboy figure itself looks pretty good, has the articulated hand, which is definitely kind of interesting. Normally, I think this is the first time I've seen an articulated hand for Hellboy like that. And then we're also getting Abe, his partner Abe. So that one is just an unpainted prototype. But definitely, if you're a Hellboy fan, these will be import figures, and I'm not entirely sure, if places like Big Bad Toy Store will carry these figures. I'm guessing they probably will, but I don't know that 100%. Again, I'm not terribly familiar with this company, 1000 Toys, but the figures that they have on display here, these Hellboy figures look pretty good. Okay, and then finally, I wanted to share some Transformer reveals from this convention. So some more exciting Transformer news. We'd gotten the Siege preview images from Hasbro earlier in the week, which I talked about in the last video. But here at this convention, we're actually getting some additional look at those Siege toys, specifically the Jetfire figure. So you can see in this image, definitely this looks incredible to me. I talked about this figure in the previous news video, but this new image shows off the scale is much bigger than I thought it would be originally. I think they said in the description it's going to be about 11 inches. Now this is the Takara version, but pretty much going to be the same figure. And again, it looks dead on to how he appeared in the cartoon. Whether you want to call him Jetfire or Skyfire, I don't know, but definitely he looks really good. Scale-wise, looks to be very much on par with the original G1 toy. The jet looks good, and you can see how he towers over Starscream, Soundwave, and Prowl there. So very excited for this one. It does have a bit of a hefty price point at $80, at least here in the United States for the Hasbro version. But still, this is moved up high on my priority list for Transformers that I want to add to my collection. Now, also on the Masterpiece front, so I had talked about in my previous video how I was feeling kind of disappointed in Takara, not really doing any new G1 Transformers. They were doing like reissues and Beast Wars and stuff. And maybe I just forgot about this. I don't know if this had been announced and I just forgot, or maybe it just I missed it or what. But we are getting a new G1 Transformer. It looks like it's going to be Hound, and we're seeing an unpainted prototype here at this convention. Definitely looks good. Very happy to be getting Hound. I want to round out my original G1 Autobots in the Masterpiece line. So, we need Hound, we need Mirage, we need Trailbreaker, we need pretty much all of the mini Autobots except for Bumblebee. We are getting another Bumblebee, which, like I said, they've been doing a lot of like reissues and such of ones they've already done. But definitely excited that we're getting Hound here and looking forward to getting more details on this particular figure. And then for you Beast War fans, I'm not a huge Beast War fan. I didn't watch the original cartoon. I went back and watched it later, and I did think the cartoon was very good, but I never got into the toys. But I know there's a lot of you out there who do like the toys, like the Beast War Masterpieces, and it looks like they're doing Black Arachniid, so we're getting a look at that figure, and looks very good as well. Now, besides that, we also got looks at unpainted prototypes for an Armada Optimus Prime. Now, I collected the Armada toys when they came out. I didn't think the cartoon was all that good, but at least the US version, but the toys were pretty cool. So it looks like we're getting a new version of Armada Optimus Prime, a new Star Convoy. So if you're a fan of that character, this looks pretty interesting. And then the final bit of Transformer news comes on the Revoltech front. So this is a non-transforming toy, but they're for the Amazing Yamaguchi line. If you've been collecting like the DC and Marvel ones from that, and it looks like they're adding Transformers. And so we're getting Optimus Prime. So these are highly articulated figures. So again, I don't think this transforms into a truck mode, but if you've been wanting a really articulated Optimus Prime, I'm guessing this might be one of the most articulated Primes that we've ever gotten before. So definitely kind of interesting on that front. I don't have any specific details, and I don't know if they're going to do more than just Prime. There's a lot of Prime toys out there, so I generally don't get terribly excited for Optimus Prime just because there's so many different Optimus Prime figures. But definitely it'd be interesting to see if they do more characters in this line. And again, I expect it to be very articulated, and if you like that kind of thing, I think you'll want to check this out. Okay, so that's it for today. I'd love to hear your thoughts on everything we talked about. Again, please do head over and check out those contests on both TNI and Marvelous News. Also, be sure to enter for that Captain Marvel box if you're into Captain Marvel. and then be sure to check back next week for Toy Fair. I expect to be doing more news videos, at least probably 2 more before we actually get to Toy Fair, and then obviously I will try and crank out update videos throughout the course of Toy Fair. But we'll probably get one out at least on Tuesday and one on Thursday before Toy Fair. And I do expect more Toy Fair reveals to happen this week, especially with like Marvel Legends and Black Series. So be sure to keep it to the websites for updates when those come out. We'll be sure to update there with that information. So let me know again what you think about everything we talked about in the comments section. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, hit the bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. And of course, you can also follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. I have links to all those in the video description as well. Until next time, guys, I'll catch you later.